Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and this is Expedition 3 Pages. It is time for another round of Tales from Two Trails and this will be for the month of August. So before we start playing the game and seeing what everyone else read and where we're starting on the board and everything, I just wanted to run over how I did in the month of July. And yeah, guys, it wasn't great, I'm not gonna lie. My reading really slumped in July, unfortunately, but this happens sometimes, and I'm hoping that because everything's going on in August, it will pump me back up and I'll actually start reading more again in August, hopefully. But yeah, so I had 4 prompts to fulfill in the month of July. The first one was read a mythology book. For that, I chose to read The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, but unfortunately I didn't manage to get to that one. I did start listening to it and I wasn't 100% keen on the audiobook, so I was going to switch to a physical copy, but then I just didn't finish other reads, so I didn't manage to get to that one. The second one was read a STEM book, so that's science, technology, engineering or mathematics non-fiction book, and so for that I chose Isaac Newton by James Gleick, and again I did start this one but did not get very far into it at all. I got to page 16, that's pretty woeful really, so let's just move on past that one. I failed that prompt. The third prompt was Colour Picker, and that was Brim Yellow, and for that I chose The Reading List by Sarah Nisha Adams, and this one I'm actually still listening to on Scribd and I'm loving that audiobook. It's so good. The main character, Mukesh, absolutely love him. I love him so much and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying kind of taking my time with that and just listening to it every now and then a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 5-star read at this point. If not 5, then 4.5, you know, like very close to 5 stars. And yeah, so I'm going to count this one as done because I used to be very strict on my game and say that I had to 100% finish all the books for them to count by the end of that month. But I think as long as I know that I'm definitely going to finish it in the foreseeable future, I'm going to count it from now on because the game is set up differently, so it makes more sense to play it that way. So yes, I'm going to count this one because I will finish it. I've got about 6 hours left of the audiobook, so yeah. Happy days, that's one done. And finally, I also had to complete a fiction prompt. And for this, I chose Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. And I also finished this one. I really liked that one a lot. And I spoke quite a lot about it in one of the vlogs I put out last month. So I will link that down below if you wanted to hear more in-depth thoughts about this book. But it's essentially it's a romance book. It's about a romance between 2 people, but it's also about a lot more than that. So yeah, I will link my vlog down below if you wanted to hear any more thoughts. My other challenge was to make a drink based on one of the books that I read in the month of July from my game. And I haven't actually made it yet, but I've bought the stuff to make it. But in the reading list, they were talking about chai, and I assumed that meant chai, either chai tea or chai tea latte. So I've gone down that route and I've bought some chai tea bags, and later on today I'm going to try and make a chai tea latte at home. Don't know how this is going to go. I've definitely had one before, like in a coffee shop, but I haven't attempted to make one at home on my own. I will insert the footage now of me making that drink and trying it. So this is the drink that I'm making, inspired by the reading list. Oh, I do have some news before I carry on. So in my last game, if I finished on the green trail, then that meant I got to do a book haul, which I did because I won the game and that was amazing. If I had finished on the red trail, then I had to unhaul books, which is obviously a worse thing for me. But didn't matter because I won the game, so that's absolutely fine. I did say to myself that I wanted to change the outcome every time the game reset, and so I've decided what I'm going to change it to. If we finish on the green path, that means that for the whole of the next month, whatever that month may be, whenever we finish the game, I get to mood read the whole month. I don't have to play the game, I can just read whatever I want, and it's going to be happy days, happy mood read month. If, however, we finish on the red path, then that means I have to only read books that I pick from my TBR jar. My TBR jar is full of like the oldest books on my TBR. I don't put any of the new ones in there yet because it's still really, really full. And so they're essentially the books that I've been putting off the longest reading. And, you know, I'm sure they're all great, but it's the books I guess I'm a lot less excited for. So if we finish on the red path, that means I have to read books only from the TBR jar. And I don't know how I'm going to choose them yet, if I'll choose them one at a time throughout the month, or if I'll choose like a set number at the start of the month, and then that's my TBR. We'll figure that out if we finish on the red path, but hopefully we don't. And hopefully get a mood read month, because that's the aim. So now I'm going to go over the prompts that you guys fulfilled in the month of July. If we've both fulfilled the same prompts, then that means that I can move a step forward on the board. But if you completed a prompt that I didn't manage to complete during the month of July, then I have to take a step back on the board because that's a bit of a fail. So yeah, let's cut to finding out our starting position. Okay guys, so last month we finished up on the fiction square, which also had the little cup on it as well. Okay, so let's go through what you guys have read and see if we can move down the path or if we have to move backwards because of me not reading my books. Just going to go through the list of comments and hopefully do not skip over any. Okay, first up we have Hugo from Scientist Reading World, and Hugo read a yellow book, so that fit for the broom yellow prompt. And he read An Unexpected Kind of Love. And so I also, well, am going to complete my yellow prompt. So I'm going to take one step forward. Thanks, Hugo. Then Louisa, she did her own colour generator, and that's cool. And Louisa got Cream, and so she ended up reading Scythe by Neil Schusterman. And so yeah, that counts as a step forward as well. Awesome. Going well so far. Okay, next up we've got Michelle. So Michelle read a broom yellow book, Everything Under. She also read a fiction book with a drink, and for this one she read Before the Coffee Gets Cold and drank some coffee, which is awesome. Who doesn't love coffee? Well, loads of people, but I love coffee. And I also read my fiction book, so that's good. But Michelle also fulfilled the prompt STEM, and she read Humble Pie, When Math Goes Wrong in the Real World, which sounds really cool actually. But because Michelle fulfilled a prompt that I didn't, that means I have to take a step back on the path. Well done, Michelle, you smashed it. Then Ruby from Ruby read a fiction book, and she read The Sea of Tranquility, which I cannot wait to get to that book. I'm so looking forward to it. And so yeah, I'm going to take a step forward from Ruby, thank you. Okay, then we've got Whitney from Tibber's Den, who actually fulfilled the mythology prompt. I believe she read Kaikei. I'm sorry, I do not know how to pronounce that, by Vaishnavi Patel. I'm not 100% sure if she did read that one, but I'm pretty sure she finished the last book in the Tiger's Curse saga. So yeah, that sadly means that taking a step back because I did not fulfill the mythology prompt. We're going back and forth, back and forth. Okay, then we got Danny from the channel Sumber Honey, and Danny read The Time of the Witch by Mary Downing Han, and that fit the broom yellow prompt. Definitely fulfilled that. So one step forward for me. Okay, then Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction completed the fiction prompt, and she read Tale of the Body Thief by Anne Rice, so that is another step forward. So if we end here, that's great because we go down there. Nadia messaged yesterday, was it yesterday? And mentioned that she also fulfilled a prompt. So even though it's after the date, because I haven't filmed yet, I'm going to include it. So yes, so we're either whatever Nadja read, we're either going to be taking a step back to free choice or a step forward to Expedition Through Pages. So Nadja read Heartstopper Volume 3, which has loads of different colours of yellow on it. I fulfilled Brim Yellow prompt, one of the only prompts that I managed to fulfill, so we can move forward. Yay! So we're going to start on the Expedition Through Pages square, and that also means that Expedition Through Pages is our first prompt. Okay, so that was a little bit back and forward there at the end, but we still managed to progress down the path with all the +1s, so I was pretty happy about that. And the very first prompt that we got was Expedition Through Pages, which for me, this means read a book to fulfill my Reading Around the World challenge. But essentially, this prompt for everyone is just read a book either set in another country to yourself or by an author who's from another country to yourself, or basically, ideally it should have some element of another country discussed in the book in some way, so you're learning a little bit extra about another country aside from the one that you're from. So I still have one book left for Cambodia. I don't know how, because I've been trying to read this book for months and months, and I was actually going to buddy read this with Emily from Emily Beth Hall that I'm doing the Reading Around the World challenge with. We both said, oh, maybe the last week of July, but then I guess, yeah, we haven't discussed it since then, and it's the last week of July. So yeah, hopefully this will be the first book that I can pick up in the month of August, because I really, really need to get to it, and that's The Elimination by Ritipan. This is like an autobiography memoir, I think, where the author talks about his experience of going and talking to one of the chiefs of the killing fields during the time of the Khmer Rouge takeover of Cambodia. So hopefully I'll be able to buddy read that with Emily in the month of August. So yeah, thanks guys for everyone who played along in July. I of course will link everybody who joined in down in the description, so if anybody has a channel or has social media that they like to share, like either on Twitter or Instagram or a blog or something, then I will link everybody's information that I know of down in the description. If you have any information that you want me to share, like to a link tree or something, and I don't have it, then of course just let me know and I can add it in the description as well. Cool, so now we can start the rolls. Let's go to roll number 1. Okay, so let's go for roll number 1. 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, so this is non-fiction. Okay, roll number 1 got us read a non-fiction book. So this is supposed to be like a non-fiction learning book in some way. Originally this wasn't supposed to include memoirs, but I think I'm just going to say memoirs and biographies, etc. can be used for this one as well now. And the book that I've chosen for this is Natives by Akala. Natives, Race and Class in the Ruins of Empire. And this is essentially about Akala's experience growing up in the UK and the racism that he experienced and everything like that, I believe. Yeah, so it says, from the first time he was stopped and searched as a child, to the day he realised his mum was white, to his first encounters with racist teachers, race and class have shaped Akala's life and outlook. In Natives, he takes his own experience with education, the police, identity, and everything in between, and uses them to look at the social, historical and political factors that have left us where we are today. So yeah, this book came out a while ago now, and I've been meaning to read it for a really long time, so I think August is definitely the month for me to do that. And roll number 2 is 1. And another Expedition Through Pages. Okay, so roll number 2 got us another Expedition Through Pages, which now I'm a bit stumped, because we haven't picked our next country yet. So I think I need to put a pin in this and just say I need to have a discussion with Emily about what country we're going to be doing next and have a research of the books that we want to read. I'm going to open it up to myself and rather constrain myself to one book that I have to read. We generally pick 4 books for whatever country we're going to read from next. So I have to read one of those 4 books to fulfill this prompt. But again, for you guys, you can just read another book from another country, a different country to the first country, or whatever, it doesn't matter, you can just choose. Roll number 3 is a 3. Oh, am I crossing over to the red side, guys? No! Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Okay, crossing the bridge underneath the waterfall, seeing the water go by, but nothing to do with the waterfall here. And this prompt means, I think this means read a book from like a friend's favourite book, or like a family member's favourite book or something like that. So that's great, guys. Straight over to the red path. But you know what I was thinking? Even though the red path isn't great for me, for you guys, the prompts are a lot more interesting, because on the green path is just full of loads of prompts that I wanted to help me fulfill my goals in 2022. So they're very, very samey. Whereas the red path is like a lot more variety and a bit more interesting. So for you guys, the red path is good. It's just the outcome for me, if we stay on that path, is not great. Okay, so prompt number 3 got us read a friend or family member's favourite book. For this, I actually rang my dad to talk to him, because he's been going on about me reading these dragon books, which I can never remember the name of the series, but I'll put it up here. He really wants me to read those. But when I rang him and said, okay, these are your favourite books, right? He was like, well, the first one isn't my favourite, so technically not. But he did say, well, if you want to read my favourite book, then my favourite book is, let me find it. Yeah, he said one of his favourite books is The Dancers at the End of Time by Michael Moorcock. And he did say that this used to be 3 books, but they've like done a bind up now where it's always just sold as one big book, all 3 books. So this book is not short, guys. It's like 672 pages. So thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. I don't know how it's set up. If it's actually a bind up of the 3 books and it's very clear that it's 3 different books, then I'll just read the first one to complete the prompt. But if it's not very clear and actually it is just one book now, then I'll have to read the whole thing in order to complete the prompt. But I see how it goes. I don't really know anything about this, so I think I'm not going to find anything out about it now. Just in case, because it's a classic, sometimes in the descriptions they can say too much and then they give you spoilers. So yeah, I'm going to leave it as this is what I'm going to read at the moment, and yeah, I hope I like it, because it's his favourite book. There's a lot of pressure. Okay, and roll number 4 is a 4, and so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is read the first book in a series. Wow, we've got really far down. This is only the 2nd month of playing this game and we're almost at the end. Okay, so the very last prompt gave us read the first book in a series, and for this I'm actually going to use a book that I've chosen to fulfill one of the prompts in the other readathons. I think it's the Magical Readathon, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it was Magical Readathon, and that there's a prompt to read a childhood favourite book. For that, I actually chose Christie's Great Idea, which is the very first book of The Babysitter's Club by Anne M. Martin. So I'm going to be reading that for Magical Readathon, so I thought that this would fit perfectly for this prompt because it's the first book in the Babysitter's Club series. And yeah, I'm very apprehensive about this because I used to love the Babysitter Club series books when I was a kid. So we'll see. We'll see if my adultness has ruined it for me or if I still like them a lot. But yeah, so that's the last roll of the game. So in total, we've got 5 prompts this month instead of 4. If you'd like to join in with the game, then I will link in the comment section, in a pinned comment in the comment section, all the info again, like all the different prompts and exactly how you can join in. But again, essentially, if you fulfill a prompt that I don't, then I have to take a step back. If we both fulfill the same prompt, then I get to take a step forward. That's just basically it. And all you have to do is by the deadline, which I'll also write in the comment section because I haven't decided on when I'm going to put out the video next month yet. But by whatever date I put in the pinned comment section down below, you just have to write me a comment, let me know what book you read and what prompt it fulfilled, and then I can use it for next month's game. So yeah, again, thank you to everyone who joined in this month. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun working out where I was going to start from. And yeah, we made it really far down the path. So happy days. It's only like the 2nd month playing this version of the game. Could all change, of course. I could be like stuck in a loop somewhere. Like I kind of was at the end of the last game, but you never know. So yeah, that's it. I think for my readathons, I'm going to do either separate TBRs or include them in my weekly vlogs that I will hopefully be doing in August properly. The 1st of August is actually a Monday, which is when I want to start the weekly vlog. So I feel like in my head, it's a good day to start. It's like the 1st of the month and it's a Monday, I can crack on. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that everybody is doing well and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.